Welcome back into the backup plan. You know, all month long, we have been honoring and highlighting Black Changemakers, those who are working to move the needle in their respective sports to show future generations what they can do.
Yes, and today we are so excited to honor and feature model and New York-based surfer, Farmata Dia. Now, as she is today's Black Changemaker in sports, she follows the footsteps of pro-Black surfers like Sharon Schaefer. Now, Farmata hails from New York City, a place you wouldn't really think is known for all of its, a place to surf. So welcome to the show. We are so excited to sit down and talk with you. How you doing today?
I'm doing good. Yeah, thank you guys for having me. I'm super excited to be here.
I'm super excited because I see the surfboards over your left shoulder. I know you're getting ready for the Gulf Stream to bring warmer waters to New York City. But first, you know, we have to discuss the surf culture in Rockaway, Queens. How did you get involved with surfing?
You know, it was pretty random. I was a part of an internship and they just took us to do a lesson. And then the very next day, I loved it so much that I joined the nonprofit that I'm a part of to this day. And we've just been surfing together for 6 years.
Tell me about the nonprofit a little bit.
Yeah, so it's called La Rabea. It's actually based off Garifuna. It means by the water. And it's set up to just support kids in the community that are of color that don't usually get these opportunities. So in the summertime, we do free surf lessons for kids 8 to 18 throughout the tri-state area. We host fundraisers and events. We go on trips to different countries and also like competitions in Florida. And we do like climbing. We just want to really get the kids involved and push their limits and let them know that they don't have to be boxed in.
So you're surfing in New York City, by the way. I mean, you can take the subway there. So to me, that counts, right? That is New York City. This place never ceases to amaze me. How do you deal with the temperatures there?
Honestly, a lot of us just like travel during the winter and grind during the summer. For the people that do stay here, it's training season, you know, so you get your 5'4", your boots, your gloves, your hood, and at the end of the day, you're going to have to do what you have to do to get those waves because it's like you're always chasing that high, that adrenaline rush from all these sessions.
So the temperature now, like, are you out there now dealing with this? This
Oh
seems
yeah,
crazy.
I actually just got out the water a few
Really?
hours ago. I was taking a lesson.
It's like 50 degrees outside. I imagine the water's much colder.
It is, but today was really nice compared to a lot of days. Like there were some days where it was like flurries or like there's days where the water is warmer than the air. So it's like, this is beautiful. The sun is out. It's not windy. This is like peak winter surf.
Well, staying on the subject of weather, we read that you actually caught some incredible waves during Hurricane Paulette. This was back in 2020. That storm lasted 21 days, and it was no small storm. Tell us more about that experience and sort of dealing with the waters in those critical conditions.
Yeah, I'll never forget that year between Teddy, Paulette, and all the storms. Yeah. It was like one of the best hurricane seasons I've experienced. It was actually my first hurricane season, so like those were some of the bigger waves I've ever rode, and I was going on a smaller board, but like it's just big out there. And some people don't understand when you say like a 4-foot wave, it doesn't sound that big. But when you're laying at the base of that wave and you're looking bottom up, like there's just so much water in front of you. And it's like an adrenaline rush, but at the same time, you're learning how to like take care of yourself in these situations because you'll never be in control in the water, you know?
Does fear set in, right? Like most people think hurricane. First responders tell us leave the water and you're going into it. At what point do you overcome fear to surf those waves?
It's definitely about the fear, but at some point it's like you want it more than you're afraid of it. And you're willing to put yourself at risk of, you know, every time a surfer goes out, you know, you can get hurt, you can break your back, or like you can get hit by your board. And we accept that because we know at the end of the day, even if you just get one good wave, it'll be worth it.
I know you were telling us earlier about some of the work you do taking children to surf in other areas of the country. What is it like taking a kid from Queens and taking them to Florida to surf, or California, or other parts of this country? And then for you, how varied are you in your surfing throughout different countries or different states here?
Well, with the kids, honestly, it's some of the best experiences I've ever had. A lot of these kids, like, they're not used to, it was always just a huge group of us girls going. So it'd be like 20 girls and we're all under the age of 18 and like up to 10 mentors and we're all in just one big house. The younger girls are doing TikToks together. We all eat dinner together and like We have uplifting conversations. We speak about our goals. We talk about what we want to see for ourselves and what we see for each other, you know? So it's a safe environment. You feel comfortable and you feel like you can grow and flourish. So
You
it's
have
super wonderful.
sorry.
Oh, no, go ahead.
Sorry, I was gonna say you have such a glow when you talk about it. Like your face totally lit up when you when you were switching gears and talking about that. You can see the passion behind, in your facial expression alone. It's so cool to see.
Yeah, because we call it a nonprofit, but honestly, it's like it's just a family. Like, and we've been growing so much. Like every summer, we have kids, new kids that show up, they learn, and the next summer, boom, we don't even have enough boards because the kids from last year stayed, and now we have new kids that also want to join the program. So it's really like they're like all my siblings, my brothers, my sisters, like my fathers, mothers. It's wonderful.
Fermata, what does the sport of surfing mean to you?
It is my everything. 5 years ago, I would always wonder like what I was gonna do with my life. I had no goals. I had like nothing to look forward to. And then once I picked up surfing, it just pointed me in the right direction. And now I know what I want to do with my life. I have passions. I travel. I'm literally going to Portugal today after this in a few hours. Like
Wow.
this is all I do now. I have no life but surfing.
Wait, are you
I'm
surfing in
trapped.
Portugal?
I am. Yeah, I booked a shoot out there, and it's a surf shoot with a sustainable wetsuit company. So I'm pretty excited. I've never been out there.
Oh my goodness.
And we want to get your take too, because when people think of surfing, they think of, let's be honest, a tall, blonde-headed dude from Australia or
Yep.
Hawaii. They don't think of an African American woman, Senegalese descent from Queens. What has it been
No.
like being a black face, being a person of color, a woman in this culture?
It's wonderful. And one thing I always say, just starting it late and getting to experience it at this age is the best part about it because it's like it hits you fully. So when you see other people, it's like when you're out the country as a person of color and you see another person of color, automatically you're like, oh my gosh, cousin.
Mhm.
And it's like that in the water because you look around and it's a sea of blonde hair and blue eyes, and you see that one other melanated person, automatically, every black person I know, when you see another black person in the water, that's your friend. You might not know each other when you first get in the water, but once you're out the water, you got each other's phone numbers, each other's Instagrams, and you're gonna see each other again. And the student that I just was learning with earlier, we met a friend of mine in the water, and she connected with him. She joined a group chat with a bunch of other surfers of color, and she's gonna come out here and join them. And that's really how it is. You slowly build it. It's like a big spider web. It's our network.
That's cool.
What would you want to tell people about that stigma? Like, what do you think they need to know in order to really, say goodbye to that stigma?
The number one thing I'll always say is it's all about representation, but you also have to be that representation at some points. So there's gonna be times where you have to step up whether you feel uncomfortable. It's like uncomfortably comfortable. That's a big goal of my friends and I for this year. So put yourself in those situations. Don't think, oh, but there's nobody else that looks like me. I don't see other people that know how to do this. I don't know anyone that does this. Be the change that you want to see. Take that step forward, take that leap because you never know what's going to happen. And the worst thing that can happen, like, yeah, you wipe out, you get a little hurt, you get back up, you paddle back out, and you do it again.
I think there's life lessons that obviously has worked well for you, but in teaching that to younger kids and teaching that to people who may not see the ocean or see it the same way you do, what has that experience been like and the kind of joy you've gotten from seeing the growth of someone, day one, they're afraid of the water to day 30, they're going out further than they ever thought they could?
Yeah, it's funny you ask that. Two things that a lot of surfers I know say. The best feeling is one, catching the wave of your life, and two, seeing someone you know or someone you're teaching catching the best wave of their life.
Aw.
It's like
That's
a
cool.
shared feeling, kind of. So with me, like I teach private lessons and I also do the surf school with the kids. So when I'm seeing the growth, it just feels like that growth is me. Like my heart feels like it's gonna burst out of my chest. It's so full of happiness because when you see the growth, other people are also able to see their own growth. And so like you go from being pushed in the water to just paddling and catching your own wave, or even the tiniest thing like understanding how a wave is breaking, the time to start paddling, the time to catch the wave, or where you should be sitting in the water. Like it's all these small things that will add up to help you become a better surfer. And so like watching people pick these things up one at a time and just watching it slowly build. And all of these things will translate in the water to like your real life. These are also life lessons. So we're being taught patience, we're being taught how to interact with the people around us, and we're being taught about our environment, you know?
Absolutely. I feel like there's a lesson in every part of the journey. Fermata, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today on the Backup Plan. We love talking to you, and maybe Jason and I will get out to Rockaway and learn a thing
Memorial
or two.
Day weekend, we're looking for you to give us surf lessons, all right?
Thank you so
guys.
much, Fermata.
Yeah, have a great one.
You too. We have much more of the Backup Plan coming up right after this.